Good morrow, how do you fare? Are you enjoying the Freedom Trail? We hope you learned a lot about the Boston Latin School and the Benjamin Franklin statue.
Welcome to the Old Corner Bookstore. It is located on the corner of Washington and School Streets in Boston.
This is the oldest commercial building in Boston. It started as an apothecary and later became a bookstore and later became a publishing house. The Old Corner Bookstore is the oldest commercial building in the city, built as a home in the 1630s. It burnt down and was rebuilt in 1712 when it began a life as a pharmacy for many generations.
Anne Hudson lived here. She was a famous Puritan who was banished from Boston for not following Puritan rules.
Later, when it was a publishing location, the building was a meeting place for many famous authors, including Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Nathaniel Haworth, Emily Dickinson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Charles Dickens.
The Old Corner Bookstore is still a working business. It is now a Chipotle, so perhaps you can stop by for a burrito.
Thank you for learning about the bookstore. We know teachers really like reading. Enjoy the conference.
We hope you enjoy your next stop, the Old South Meetinghouse.
Good morning. Welcome to our stop, which is the Old South Meetinghouse. We hope you enjoyed visiting the last stop, which was the Old Corner Bookstore.
Welcome. You are on the 7th stop on the Freedom Trail, and the Old South Meetinghouse is located at 310 Washington Street in Boston. Many important meetings were held here in the history of the city.
Many important meetings were held here, but in 1773, 5,000 people met here to decide that no more tea would come from the English ships. Weeks later, 7,000 people met here, and that was the night of the Boston Tea Party.
Joseph Warman made a famous speech here in 1772 to remember the Boston Massacre, which happened around the corner from here.
Phyllis Whately was kidnapped from Africa and sold into slavery. She wrote a book of poems and was one of the first African Americans to publish a book. Her book is on display at the Old South Meetinghouse.
In 1876, the Meetinghouse was scheduled to be demolished. Some people worked together to save the building, and it became a museum in 1877. Thank you for learning more to help your students. We hope you have fun at the conference.
Thank you for coming to the Old South Meetinghouse. We hope you enjoy the next stop, which is the Old State House.
Bye.